those who will not speak. And if the tools are not willing, they will be.
This is a game that really, really wants you to die. One of the first loading screens I encountered basically told me to not be a wiener and get good scrub. Well, like, it said it nicely. Kind of. Like, very Confucius say, every death is opportunity for learning. But what it actually sounded like to me was a threat. The game was literally telling me, I'm gonna take your lunch money and yank your underwear up through your throat, and you're gonna love every single second of it, you dirty little...
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
Jokes aside, I'm not someone who plays Souls-like games because I know for 100% fact that I cannot do it. I cannot hang. Which, don't get me wrong, I love the aesthetics, the art style, and even those 48-hour-long lore videos that are perfect for falling asleep to. But I suck, dude. Like, a lot. I watched one music theory video about Bloodborne and thought, hey, this looks cool. I can totally play this game. And now, lean in when I tell you this. I cannot play Bloodborne because I fucking suck. I hate dying. Even more, I hate not being instantly good at something. Which, yes, I know attack patterns, roll, dodge, blah, 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 blah. But, like, no thanks, dude. This is why we have YouTube. So I can lay butt naked in bed with my hot-ass wife and watch someone else suffer for the low, low price of 1 like and 1 subscribe. The first time I saw an announcement for Cronos The New Dawn, I got an instant lady boner. This was hot after my first ever playthrough of Silent Hill 2, which was the remake, and I thought, oh, okay, hold on, Bloober Team, okay, check, survival horror, ooh, check, check, astronaut looking ass dive suit with a big fat gun, check, 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 check. It, like, literally, what address should I be mailing my soul to for a copy? From that point on, I deliberately avoided anything further than that first trailer so that I would go into the game completely blind. And then I booted up the game and there was no difficulty setting. And I realized I had flown way, way too close to the sun. Sitting there, I thought, well, okay, how hard can it be? Can they actually have a game that is hardcore difficult right off the rip with no difficulty settings on top of it and expect it to be mainstream successful? Like, this isn't Elden Ring, friendo. I wouldn't say survival horror is terribly niche, but as many Twitter threads over the years have taught me, people get real pissed off when confronted with a challenge. Don't get me wrong, I'm not particularly talented at whooping monster ass without trial and error, and as previously mentioned, I really hate not being good at something. But I also respect the vision of the developers and what they want for their game and the experience it will offer to players. So I decided to not be a pussy and give it a whirl, and holy crap. I'm not one to be afraid to turn down the difficulty if I'm getting my ass kicked, okay? I view games as a personal experience to each individual, and whatever makes that journey most enjoyable for you, that's the thing you should do. If it means lowering the difficulty or raising the difficulty, it really doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. With that being said, I bought Elden Ring twice, once on PS5, once on PC, and out of those 2 separate purchases, I have beat Elden Ring a total of 0 times. You feel me? You get what I'm putting down here? So when I realized that Cronos was going to absolutely paint my back porch red, I somehow didn't give up. Maybe that's emotional maturity and growth on my part, but, you know, I seriously doubt that. Rather, I'd say it's the game design, how amazingly engaging the world is, and the top tier, S tier, if I may, gameplay. I'm actually going to give you a brief rundown now. I'm still mid-playthrough, but here's what I know so far. You wake up in the dark and you have no identity. You're a traveler and there's only the path. You have a job, and spoilers, the upward mobility is non-existent, and the health insurance comes in the form of a limited number of stim packs. You have limited inventory, an upgradable pistol, and the world you find yourself in is nothing but the bones of a dead civilization. The first thing that you do, based on instructions imparted upon you by a weirdly modulated and robotic voice, is to set out to find your predecessor, which is basically a traveler that came before you who may or may not have hit their expiration date, like the firm one. You travel through ruins and pulsating nests of flesh until eventually you find him, and yes, he is indeed expired. But now it's your job to complete his mission, and you find yourself drawn into a mixed-up layer of realities with cats and the devolvement of humanity known as orphans, which are the monsters of this game. You're literally surrounded by pulsing biomass, and nothing is familiar, and guess what? You better count your bullets and start thinking strategically, because this game really takes the survival element seriously. Bloober Team is in no way holding your hand and offering you a cold bottle of water. They're slapping you on the ass and giving you the thumbs up while you are viciously Hulk slammed into a pink paste. On top of all of this, the saves are minimal. There is a limited amount of how many resources you can hold at once. You have a compass and a prayer to dying gods, but hot damn, does it feel good when you succeed. Enemies swarm you and pop your little dive head off your shoulders, and it's all good, bros, because I will be back, and eventually, I will be victorious. Keyword, eventually. Like, who knows when, but at some point in time. Look, I agree, it sucks to die 20 minutes after your last save, and you have to do all that shit over again with varying degrees of success. But when you do succeed, when you finally kill that monstrosity that is embarrassing you in front of your friends for the last 20 minutes, it feels really, really freaking good. It's like finding $20 on the ground. In this economy, that's like an entire McChicken, dude. But even putting all that aside, the story, holy crap. 2021 is alive and well in this game. As your badass lady traveler extracts brains and souls, she begins to piece together the truth of how our world ended. The impression painted by the notes and audio logs left throughout the world are one of paranoia, conspiracy theories, and governments doing what governments do, which is turning tyrannical. And, like, killing their citizens. It's very anti-vaxxers versus vaxxers coded. Like Florida in a bare-knuckle fistfight with California. And through all of these complications and gory explosions, you watch as your character shows strangely tender gestures to her fallen comrades. She enthusiastically greets cats as well as she can with her monotone voice, clearly delighted and excited by their presence. Contrastingly, she also blows the ass off of anything else that moves, and she's like scary, like actually kind of freaking terrifying. In fact, she's so scary that at a certain point in the early game, that I'm not going to go into a lot of spoilers, it did begin to dawn on me, oh shit, are we the villain of this story? This traveler and I? Are we the bad guy? Are we basically James's Maria? The thing is, I think we can fix her, guys. Look, I know what you're thinking. We've all had that, like, hot but batshit crazy girlfriend who emotionally abused us, but we kind of liked it. But seriously, when the traveler wakes up, she very clearly only has one thing programmed into her head, and that's min-maxing her path to doing whatever the heck this world's big brother wants her to do. She is not independent. She is not free. She is a tool and a weapon. But over time, with choosable dialogue options and a little bit of the old side-eye, we watch her begin to become aware. And not just aware even, but particularly self-aware and self-reflective. Almost turning to empathy at some points. Basically, she commits the most cardinal of sins, which is she begins to think for herself. I'm gonna stop the story rant there so as to keep it spoiler free, but do you see my point? The game is 100% a pain in the ass at points, and you can really only make it less so through diligence and strategy, but that's okay. It pisses me off, but curiously, what I'll find in the next room keeps me coming back again and again until I'm middle fingering my way to victory. Actually, my understanding is that though there are multiple endings depending on your choices, you're not actually able to get the technically true ending until you play the game on New Game Plus. They kick you into hard mode immediately because they want you to die. They want you to come back and approach difficult situations from different angles until you succeed. They want you to be challenged, but they want you to be victorious. It's a damn beautiful game. I can't wait to finish it and come back to say more about it. Until then, stream Dead Dance on Apple Music and subscribe, or I will tell your mom you said her food sucks. Peace, guys, and go kick some ass.